Yo, okay, so time for a new dating video. I'm gonna title this video "Dating in 2026," and yeah, this is my first dating video of this year, and yeah, I wanted to do it a little bit ago, but I just was waiting for the right time, and after what happened today, it was shocking, by the way. Yeah, it's definitely time for a new dating video. It has definitely gotten worse. At the end of the day, I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about like the double standards, why I gave up, how they always try to blame, the man as to why women flake and ghost and lead people on and all of the crappy things. Let's face it, most of them do. People can say it's generalizing, but let's be so real right now. You're talking to me, someone that's approached and dealt with God knows how many women. I wouldn't even like to put a number on it. I've lost count. But anyways. So I'm gonna start from 6 months ago, right up until, well, today, pretty much. So 6 months ago, right, I literally was like, I'm done with this dating thing. People give up for different reasons. Different things annoy different people. And I just, the logic I had, right, is that I've tried more than enough. I don't need to keep going out and, dealing with people saying that, they've got boyfriends, or getting numbers and people leading me on, and getting numbers and people, playing games and then flaking. And do you know the two things that used to really annoy me the most with this whole dating thing? It wasn't really even the boyfriend thing or the people saying they're not interested. The thing that used to annoy me, right, is when I used to get people's numbers and then they would just lead you on and play games, and the excuses they used to make. Like, I can't date you because you're too old. I can't date you because you're too young. I can't date you because you're not a Muslim. I can't date you because you live too far. I can't date you because you don't know enough about Palestine. I mean, fuck me. All of these examples I'm using have been used in the past and more. And then you come to think of it, it's like, bro, you've really got to have like no respect for yourself if you're gonna continuously keep putting up with this. At the end of the day, it's just like it's mental. It's absolutely mental. You're not fat, you're not ugly, there's no reason for it. And as I said, where the logic that I went with is the fact that you've tried more than enough. You shouldn't have to go out and keep trying. You should have found someone. You have all of these people that say, people have found their partners at this age and that X, Y, Z. But what these people fail to realize is I've approached more women than probably 95% of the people in the world. Not fat, not ugly. So logically, for my own mental sanity, I wanted to stop experiencing bad experiences, and it made sense. It's logical. Obviously a lot of people might not be able to relate to it if they haven't tried, or they might have met someone years ago, or whatever the case is. But I was quite frankly getting sick of it, as most people would. I mean, I feel like most people got sick of it before me, and I just would rather just like think of it like, yeah, okay, maybe having someone might be nice, maybe whatever, it's a bonus, but it is not worth it. Because think about it, how long are you going to keep doing it for? How many years are you going to keep going out every week, getting the same experiences, hearing the same excuses, dealing with the same bogus? I mean, who's to say you're not going to be 45 and dealing with the same thing? And I do get what people are trying to say when they're like, you don't know what the future holds. But realistically, if you want to be, theoretical about this, you would have already met someone. If there was someone generally for you, you would have met them. There's no reason why you have not met them. You put the effort in, you're not fat, you're not ugly, which there's nothing wrong with fat and ugly people, whatever, but like, that's the way society judges people nowadays. That's the point I'm trying to get at. So completely washed my hands with it, until I went out, because I actually planned to go out with someone, and I would have never heard the last of it if I didn't go out. So I went out, and basically, I was in a bad mood. Like, someone had to basically force me to go out. I was done. I told you I've been done for a very, very long time with this whole like dating thing. So anyways, I went out, and then obviously drunk, and I was like, okay, I'm in a better mood now. Literally, I approached a couple of people. It wasn't about collecting numbers. It was just about finding someone who appear to be different. So approached this person, and they were showing like really good vibes. Like, oh yeah, drop me a message. Right, it's like they just gave their number to get away from you. They were proper like enthusiastic about giving the number, enthusiastic about saying, oh, drop me a message. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, got one number, enjoy the rest of my night. First number I got for a long time, and you know, then she literally didn't even reply to the message. And I'm thinking in my head, like, at the very least, they're going to at least reply to the message, since they're very enthusiastic about giving me their number. And then they never replied, so I'm thinking, oh god, same old crap. And then I think after that, I think I did go out once. I think I went to Liverpool Street. Bear in mind, these are months and months away from each other, whereas I used to go out like twice a week, so you can understand. It's like now the only time I go out is if I'm bored out of my head and someone's getting on my nerves and trying to stress me out, which I'll talk about that. But I think I went to Liverpool Street before that or after that. But anyways, I went to Liverpool Street by myself. I think I got a couple of numbers. Same thing happened again, where I got led on by one of the 3 numbers, and I'm thinking, nah, I am done. And I'm gonna add this as well. When you're getting these bad experiences, right? Be it someone leading you on, being someone having a bad attitude, being someone having a abrupt body language, whatever it is, the only thing that's coming in my mind, right, is you are getting men pretty much defending these people, defending this behaviour just for the sake of doing it. Like, it's kind of mad, because I mean, I would generally say, you know, even if there are good women out there, let's face it, like I was saying earlier, most of them are toxic, most of them are, you know, are going to do these things. So the fact that you've got so many men nowadays defending these women that do these shitty bad things completely baffles me. It really, really does, you know. It's not like they're an animal or a child or a baby that are genuinely innocent. They're women that do toxic, bad, mean things. Pretty much, and you're getting people that are defending them just for the sake of defending them. They're defending them very biasly. They're not getting their purse stolen, or they're not getting attacked on the street and then someone's just, you know, getting involved. They are defending them just for the sake of defending them, and it doesn't pop up all the time, but maybe after about 4 or 5 different bad experiences, you're thinking, oh damn, you know, people are defending this kind of behaviour, and it's just like, it's mad, because coming from somebody that's not biased and completely unbiased, who's been with women, I'm not a virgin, I've been with women, I don't understand why people would want to defend people that are doing these horrible things, but they still do. And I've got evidence, I've put the evidence up there, and even when I was on my break for months and months and months, I was watching a lot of kick streamers. I moved on to kick streamers, and the attitude from a lot of these women towards these men, I'm thinking, it got to a point where even watching it was annoying me. You know, even some of these things on Instagram, and I don't understand how people can keep defending this behaviour. You know, the leading on, the playing games, the dishonesty, the stuck-upness. It's like it's crazy, and then it's just crazy. So I missed all the events. Didn't go out Boxing Day, didn't go out New Year's Eve. I was like, I'm completely done. However, I was on Instagram and like a few like other different little apps, see if anything changed on the dating apps. It appeared that Tinder was just full of bots and fake profiles, and then I was on Instagram and I thought, you know what, yeah, if I come across someone that proves to me that they're different and they prove to me that they're a good person, right, I'll give them the chance. Like, I'm not going to completely say, okay, no, you're a woman, I'm not going to go with you, like, whatever. Like, if someone proves that they're different and they give me a better experience and they come along, that's fine. But as far as me going out, get my hair cut, going out approaching, dealing with people that's got bad attitude, I'm not doing it. And that's my own choice at the end of the day. So, and there was this one woman, right, who was, I think she lived in Wiltshire, yeah, and she was like saying how she can't meet me because of distance, when we both know that if I was her next door neighbour, she'd come out with another excuse. Oh, you're too young for me. Oh, you're too old for me. And to me, the thing that they're trying to do doesn't work. At the end of the day, I'd prefer somebody to be honest with me. Oh, I don't like people with black hair. I don't like people with green eyes. You know, when somebody is blatantly lying and just coming up with excuses, it's very, very worse than just being honest. In my opinion, I don't know how other people's brain works, but you know, and you'd get these things again. I mean, I was talking to a woman like every day. For like a whole day, we was talking about things, and she was saying about how she defends men, and then she just turned weird the next day, and then just completely ghosted. Never heard from her again, which I thought it was a bit weird. But then I thought, okay, you've not met them, that you've only spoke to them for like a day, and then you're thinking, okay, yeah. Then it really, really, really gets worse, which what brings me up right to like this point now. And so I went out early February. Basically somebody owed me money. They were stressing me out, and you know, sometimes when like you've got like a lot of stress going on, and you just want to go for a drink and forget about it in a healthy way, in a very non-alcoholic way, and just clear your head. You know, clear your head, something to do. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna get my hair cut. I need to get my hair cut as well. Like my beard was like looking very, yeah, terroristy. So I had to groom, had to do my hair, do my eyebrows, and I'm thinking like I need to clear my head. So I literally went out. I started doing these sober approaches. It's just the last time I went out, and then I'll get onto the numbers I got and why we're here today, basically. So I went out. I was approaching, and I was getting like, a lot of bad attitude from these women again. It gets worse. Like I said, I always say to myself, a few years ago, it was hard. It was hard. It's always been hard, but it was possible. Nowadays, it just seems it's impossible to even get as much as a conversation from someone. You know, they're so glued to their phone, or they've got a bad attitude, or you get what I'm trying to say. And a lot of them were like very, very rude. And not like swearing you or cussing you, but their whole like body language. And I'm thinking like, it almost annoyed me, but I thought, okay, this is not normal, but it is normal. Because it's not normal, because you should be able to just go out and meet a woman and not have to deal with this. But at the same time, in 2026, unfortunately, it is normal, if that makes sense. So, you know, you watch these kick streamers, they get it. Everyone else, you know, a lot of people get it. And it shouldn't be normal, but unfortunately, it is the norm. So I just try to like say, just keep telling myself that. But it does get draining, you know, when you're dealing with people that's got bad attitude and whatever, it does get draining. So then I hit this club. I stayed in it. It was a Thursday, because I go out Thursdays. The very rare time I do go for a drink. I've done a few approaches, and I got 5 numbers, I think, and I got 1 reply. So I got 1 reply, but it doesn't matter. You know, if 1 reply is somebody that's replying and they want to meet you and they're genuine, then it doesn't matter how many replies you get. You know, 1 person is enough. We don't, you know, so. Messaging this woman who was a Christian, and we was going back and forth, getting on, talking about hobbies, whatever. And here's the thing, right? This is what my main point is, that I remember specifically, it's happened a few times, but specifically a couple of people in this community, they would say to me, oh, you're trying to meet the woman too fast. My whole thing has always been, if you get a woman's number, you want to be meeting them within 4 to 7 days. Obviously, there are some exceptions, you know, someone could be out the country or whatever, but they would need to have a really, really good reason to not be able, if they want to meet you. I'm not saying that, obviously people don't have to meet you, they don't have to, but I'm saying if they would have to have a really good reason not to meet you, and be so busy that they can't meet you, if that makes sense. So obviously work is not really good enough. So my whole thing was, I meet people on the Thursday, I approach someone on the Thursday, get their number on the Thursday, try to meet them by the Sunday. Or if they said next Thursday, or they were busy, okay, next week, yeah, you schedule a date for next week. And there was always a reason why I've done this. Even though people would come and say, oh, you're coming on too strong, you need to speak to them longer. You know, there was always little excuses. They have different rules for men than they do women. Basically, you can never do right, even when you're right or wrong. You try to meet them faster, they mess you around. You speak to them longer, oh, you're just delaying the inevitable. They mess you around. You know, you're just delaying it. So with this woman, I took it very, very, very slow, and the only reason I didn't try to meet her like very, very fast is because obviously she told me like she had like some anxiety issues. She told me like a bit personal stuff about her ex and stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever, just play it cool, whatever. You know, I've got nothing to lose by keep speaking to this person. And she had exams, and she told me the dates of her exams, and we would speak every single day. And obviously, I wanted to kind of like get her to trust that I'm not like these other people that have done this, that have used basically the same manipulation tactics in the past. So I took it very, very slow, very, very steady, and yeah, the conversation was going. I don't think I've ever had a better conversation every single day with somebody than I had with this person. I'm thinking, okay, we might be in a bit of luck now. 2026, you know, everything happens for a reason. It is technically a new year. It's the first time you try in this year, so whatever. And we was talking, and she'd messaged me saying that she's stressed and she's studying, and where she had showed me her studying and she gave me the dates, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I was being a tad gullible, maybe I was being a tad delusional, but I just wanted to basically just cling on anything that was positive at this point. You know, I've got somebody responding every single day. They're messaging all day, every day. So I thought, so then we're talking and we're talking and we're talking and we're talking. And this is another thing why I say to people that you should meet people like as soon as possible, because the more you speak to them, the more you start getting invested. I don't think attached is the right word. I'd say invested. So obviously, it got to a point where like I'm thinking, oh shit, I hope they don't ghost me. I hope they don't start like ignoring me. I hope they don't start doing all of these things because obviously I'm invested now. I've been speaking to this person longer than a week. So, and that's another thing. It's very, very stressful. The whole thing is stressful. And then they did get back to me, whatever, talking. Never said anything weird. Yeah, nothing weird. It was all cool. It was all whatever. And obviously this is the point of, this is what happens even when you speak to someone, you know, longer. You would like to think that if someone spoke to you every day for so long, they would have the decency and dignity not to ghost you. Or I thought at the very worst, I'd get friend zoned, or just didn't get anything. I weren't expecting anything. I was just expecting to basically keep talking to someone and meeting someone. I didn't have any expectations in my mind. Bro, literally went on my phone today. I went on my... So last time I spoke to him was the 17th. They said, oh, I'll get back to you after the exams, or send me voice notes. Went on the literally went on the messages earlier, and their picture disappeared. So they've deleted my number. They didn't block me. I found out they deleted my number. They didn't care the fact that I spoke to them for, you know, 3 weeks, and I tried like supporting them. I said, if you ever need to talk to anyone, talk to me. Like, you can talk to me anytime you want. You know, we was just like getting on and stuff. I was like, so this person didn't care about ghosting me. So that just proves to me and everyone else that even if you speak to people for long periods of time, they will still mess you around. They will still ghost you. They'll still fuck you over. So anyone who is dating, obviously you don't have to take my advice, but I would strongly advise anyone, like, I'm done with it, try to meet these people as soon as possible. And that's it. And that's why we that's why we went through that strategy, because even if you can speak to someone for 3 or 4 weeks, you know, they can still ghost you, they can still mess you around. I don't know why she did it, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah, she said that she'd never ghost and stuff. We had loads of chats, like normal chats and stuff. So this just goes to show that, like, I mean, there's no hope. I mean, that's that. And then, I mean, obviously that's a big middle finger to people that say, oh, you need to wait, you need to speak to them longer. We spoke to them longer. This conversation couldn't have got any better, and they ghosted me. You know, it's not even like they were your friend and whatever. They ghosted you, you know, after 3 weeks. And who's to say that wouldn't happen again? It would happen again. It will happen. It has happened again, you know. But obviously this is the one that sticks out. So even when you speak to them longer, they will still ghost you. So it doesn't matter if a man's trying to meet a woman the next day or 10 years later, they're still going to get ghosted. They're still going to get messed around with. It's a bit similar to when it's like they're trying to put emphasis all on the man. Like, think about it like this, yeah. It's like when they say to you, like, oh, you need a job, you need a car, you need this, you need that, bro. There's so many people in the world that's got that, and they still don't have a woman. You know, it's like, yeah, people should go to the gym. Yeah, people should make more money. Yeah, people do need to like work on themselves. Yeah, this video is not saying that don't do anything, because this is the way dating is. But if you're these people, I don't respect these people that say, you know, you need to get money, you need to do this, bro. I've lived by myself. I've worked. I have had shit tons of money, and it never ever made a difference. So that is also another way to kind of blame men, because obviously they'll just say, oh well, you live with your mum, or you haven't got money, or you know, it's just another excuse. Just like when, you know, you try to meet a woman with, you know, within 7 days, which I think is fair dues, to be fair, they will make excuses like, oh well, you're trying to meet them too quick. Okay, well, what about this woman who ghosted me today after 3 or 4 weeks? What was the excuse then? No weird talk, conversation was perfect. They don't want to admit in their head that, you know, these women do lead people on. They do it for fun. They do have the capacity to do these things, even though they, you know, they seem to think because they're women they've got to be angels. There's no way a woman would ever do anyone over. Now again, if it was a child we was talking about, if it was a baby we was talking about, I'd be nodding my head like a dog agreeing. But I'm sorry, a grown woman knows exactly what she's doing, and she knows exactly when she's leading someone on, and she knows exactly when she's playing games. Gender does not discriminate here. Men can do it and women can do it. But they would just come out with all of these excuses. So it got to a point where it's like, now you couldn't even ask for advice. No man should, could, or ever from now on ask anyone for advice, because there's always going to be that biasness. There's always going to be that, oh well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, we've done this, we've done that. Now what's the next excuse? There's always going to be that biasness. Just like when I used to show text of me being led on and people playing games with me, there was always the excuse, oh, you're coming on too strong, oh, you need to speak to them longer. Which, again, like I said, they're not going to feel no way about ghosting somebody just because they spoke to someone for 3 or 4 weeks. And I tried with this woman, I tried supporting her and everything. I said, you know, if your anxiety is bad, call me. And she still didn't give a fuck about ghosting me. So, I mean, this is what we're dealing with now. And now we're in the same sailor boat. So moving forward, what are we gonna do? What could you do? Do you understand? What? Keep going out every week, dealing with the same old for how many years? When's it gonna stop? When are you gonna break the cycle? And that's why I gave up. You know, it sucks. To be fair, I would say with this person, I wasn't expecting it, but I was prepared for it. I was expecting them to just be like very, very the way they were for very long because of their ex and stuff, and you know, even if you weren't going to get with them. But I didn't think they'd ghost. Because I'd be waking up to 23 messages, and you know, you try to think like them after a while. You think, oh, would you ghost someone if you spoke to someone for 3 weeks? And then you'd say to yourself, no. So you would think the same thing would go for them. But that's it. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in this day and age. Try and meet too fast, try and meet too slow, go out approaching, you're always going to have this problem. And that's why I gave up. It reminds me of just a Monks game. A complete and utter Monks game. But yeah, that's my video in 2026. And yeah, I think the only way I'll ever get with anyone now is if a miracle happened and someone reached out and they proved to me they were different, which, let's face it, I think got more chance of winning the lottery, if you don't mind me saying. But yeah, that's it.